I don't know why we even play the rest of the basketball season.
Why? Why you say that?
I don't even understand why we're going to go through this and all these games and everything. Oklahoma, can you imagine Oklahoma City losing 4 of 7? It's not gonna, how's that possibly going to happen?
You say that, and I legitimately feel the same way. and watching them play, and then watching the rest of it's like it's going to take a massive undertaking for someone to beat them in a 7-game series, especially if they have all their play. You even hesitate to say even if they don't have all of their guys.
Yeah,
with how well that they played individually with their individual star play, but collectively how they've played together. It's amazing to watch a team win by 20 plus on a regular basis when I know how hard it is to stay engaged in a game when you're dominating and winning in that fashion.
They have led by 20 or more points, more minutes this year than they've trailed. That's absurd.
That is amazing.
Yes.
That speaks volumes to and a credit to how well they are playing as a unit and how well they play to the final horn. There is no, all right, well, we're beating them, kind of let our foot off. It's like the next people that come in, they got the pedal down. And it's just like, yeah, listen, y'all better figure out how to stop this train because we're not stopping it.
It's crazy. Okay, so they're in the Cup or semifinals. They're in the Cup semifinals. They will play the San Antonio Spurs, and then they'll play the Knicks or the Magic in the finals. So let's say they win the Cup. Okay. Then they have, this is the rest of their December. Clippers at the Timberwolves, Grizzlies at the Spurs, home against the Spurs, home against the Sixers, home against the Hawks, home against the Blazers. Where's their next loss?
The Grizzlies.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
They're going down, baby.
That's right.
Soon as they run into the Bear, baby.
That's right.
It's a wrap.
That's right.
I really hope that the team backs us up on this one because if not, it's not going to be good the day after.
Yeah. Well, maybe one of those Spurs games right after the Grizzlies even. You're playing the Spurs back to back. Could be the Spurs.
Well, and the Spurs are a good enough team and can match up well enough with them to give themselves at least a fighting chance. And they play a pace at which can give the Thunder a little problem. This going to be a fun game to watch as a Cup game, and then just what their battles will be through the regular season.
Yeah, boy, but they are something special, and we talk about it all the time. I think the thing that's so impressive about them is that when they pour it on, they keep pouring it on. I mean, this is a team that they don't stop playing hard. You talked about it earlier. When you get up 20, sometimes you kind of let go of the rope, and teams can kind of ease their way back into the game. They don't allow that. They don't allow that. And that's one of the most impressive things about them.
And here's the crazy part. The one team that beat them this year was who?
Portland.
Do you know who?
Portland.
But guess what? Portland was down 22 to them.
Yeah.
Came back to win in that game. It's the only game that they lost, but they still had a 20-point lead in that game.
Yeah, unbelievable. All right, welcome to Night Court, everyone. I'm Rob Fisher. He's Brevin Knight. You can follow us on Twitter at @TheFishNation, at Brevin Knight 22, and you can follow the show at Night Court 22. And, of course, you can watch this podcast each and every week on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel, and you can listen wherever you get your podcasts as well. The Grizzlies had since we last spoke, had a couple of good games, a couple of wins as they beat the Los Angeles Clippers and they beat the Portland Trailblazers over the weekend. Now having a nice little cup break here until they resume play on Friday night. But Clippers and Blazers, the one common theme in those two games, Brevin, great fourth quarters in which they held the opponent under 20 points and able to put them away and close out the game and execute down the stretch and get the victory.
It's nice that these end of game scenarios, we're not talking about, well, who's going to finish and what's going to happen on offensive end. It's because they've taken care of their business on the defensive side. and they've been able to hold teams in the teens in fourth quarters. And when you're able to do that, then that just puts you in such the driver's seat on the offensive end. The rebounding is better during those fourth quarters. They continue to take and make good shots and timely shots in those fourth quarters. And so it's nice to see them start to get end of game experience while winning basketball games. And I think, a lot of people talk about, well, the teams that they're beating. I'm like, yeah, it does. There's a team that's on the schedule that they have to play. And they're doing a fantastic job of winning those games. And for everyone that has an opportunity to have a hand in winning games, it's been fun to watch because we've seen different lineups on the game in game to finish. We've seen different guys step up and make plays. And so I think the confidence is really building for this team as they get closer and closer to being a 500 basketball team.
Yeah, and you're getting close to that point. And you talk about different guys doing it as well. It's nice to see Jalen Wells back, get his scoring touch back. It was good to see Santi Aldama get a good scoring game because he had gone three
Yes.
straight without really producing offensively at all.
Yeah, and Santi, you think about it was time for someone to pick Santi up. He deserved a couple games of maybe just some mediocrity because he had done such a good job of holding it down the beginning of the year, with giving this team a chance to win. And so it was not he had a little minor roll bump, but it was his activity never stopped through that, which was nice to see. But it's been a revelation for us to get back to seeing Jalen Wells not just knock down the perimeter shots at the 3-point line, but also those mid-range shots that he's able to get to. And the one thing I still enjoy is the footwork when he comes to a stop and being able to step through the pump fakes. And so it's been fun to watch a lot of the guys who start off the year and just a little bit of a struggle of just trying to figure out where everything was going to be, how it was going to be. But it's helped them win. KCP, Jalen Wells, Cam Spencer, the three of them in particular, with the way that they've shot, has been good. And then Cedric Coward's all around play. And we've seen more off the dribble with him, mid range, getting to the basket. That's been fun. So yeah, it's been a fun growing time. I think they've won 7 of 10,
7 of 9.
but 7 of 9. It's just this all of these wins. I don't care who you're beating. This is confidence builders for this team.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Cedric, I don't want to say he went through a little bit of a bump too, but what we've seen from him, for him, I think he went through a little bit of a bump in the road there, but that's going to happen for him this year, right? He's going to have some stretches where it's, maybe doesn't look as good as it does on other nights because he is a rookie going through an 82 game schedule.
Yeah, and just playing basketball again. Like it's just the 82 game schedule, yes, but just playing basketball in general for him it is big. But I he's been good at learning every step of the way. You've seen him do a little bit more. I think the rebounding numbers have been phenomenal for him in terms of getting there and getting in and grabbing rebounds, playing off of the dribble. I think you start to learn how to be effective with less dribbles, and that is what he is learning how to do. He's had to initiate offense at times. He, Vince, and Jalen in the starting lineup together gives them a nice switchables across the board. So there's a different look, different feel for a number one defender against a number one offensive player. So I think he's also become sort of a leader for this basketball team in terms of how he plays, when he vocalizes things, and then how the team responds to that.
Yeah, and he does vocalize things, and I mentioned that to him after the game against the Clippers on the walk-off interview, that it was very noticeable that game, how vocal he was and directing guys offensively in certain possessions, and I thought that's pretty impressive for a rookie to come in and be able to do that. That's been great. Now you know how excited I am about Friday night. John Morant's coming back.
Man,
12,
a
12.
lot of us are excited.
Yeah.
12-12 is only fitting.
Yeah.
It would be on 12-12 that 12 returns.
Yeah, 12's coming back. And I guess the question is, okay, two questions. Well, not, First, a statement. Ja's back. Yes. I'm very
Yes.
excited about it. Um, the whole thing with Zach Edey, they played 6 minutes together in Cleveland. And it was a really good 6 minutes that they played together. Shot was falling. Ja got some passes to Edey, got a couple of assists to Edey. It's going to be great to see what those two can do together and how much Zach has opened up the paint for others and how much Ja can flourish in the painted area. I mean, to see these two together, I think is something to really look forward to.
Yeah, it's going to be fun because it just poses such a problem for defenses in that Zach has done a good job of varying where he sets those high screens. So sometimes we'll see him set a screen all the way out to half court to give a guard a running start. And what better guard do you want than John Morant coming downhill against another big? That's fantastic. There are other times where he sets it more at the 3 point line. And now that means that the coming off to get you more maybe of a mid range jump shot, or if teams try to go under, the rhythm of a 3 point shot can be there. But his rolls to the basket will be either Ja has the floaters or he has the lobs to the rim. And Zach has been really good at finishing lobs this year, catching and finishing. And so yeah, it's going to be intriguing to see how the two of them work together, and then how everyone else is able to work off of that two-man game between the two of them. So it is exciting and intriguing also to see how it all comes together with how everyone is playing at this juncture, and how they can all assimilate and fit into that.
We have to ask the question: Who loses minutes in the rotation?
I think you start looking at a Vince Williams Jr. may start to lose minutes in that rotation. Uh, you all, I don't know with Cam Spencer, but they've been doing a good job of those guys being just still under 20 minutes for the most part. Cam's played more when games are dictated, but I would say the guard rotation changes the most, and I think between those two it may Jalen Wells is playing really well right now. Uh, it also can be a situation where some of the big minutes changes, like Jock Landale's minutes change. But I really think he likes Jock Landale matched up with Santi Aldama.
Mm-hmm.
Like those two playing together is something that has been good. But they've also in the past, Santi and Jaron have been a nice mix of two guys that work together. So I think it stands to be seen who exactly. But I say at the top of my mind, of course, Vince and Cam, just because that is the position with John Morant coming back, that he mans.
With John Morant and the national media and the national Twitter continue to talk about him being traded, and then others talking about how he's not tradable because of he's just not good anymore. It feels like, at least just watching from the sideline, it feels like Ja's really engaged. It feels like he's engaged with the team. I know he's ready to get back because the guy wants to play. Um, so it feels like all the distractions that have been talked about from outside people aren't really distractions with this team at this point.
Yeah, and if you think about it, this team has been at its best when there's been a whole bunch of noise and distraction and other stuff going on outside of them. Excuse me. I'm the only one out here braving the
I
elements.
know
You
you
see,
are.
you and Kenny. Kenny's on the background. He's there all comfy but I said, know what? I'm going to give the people exactly what we normally give. And so with that, there is it looks pretty. The sun is out, but there's still a little chill. Um, but I think what the heck were we saying? Look at that. I
All the
quickly just
outside
forgot about.
noise.
Yeah, because I'm being outside. I think that's just what it is. And sometimes when there is so much going on outside, everybody talking, then you insulate yourself. Everybody comes together even more. And so I would expect nothing different from this team, in that there will become a they get closer. They play better together because there is so much. It's almost like we get back to that Us versus them.
Uh,
Memphis versus everybody.
Everybody. As a player, are you aware of the standings? I mean, do you think getting to 500 is a goal?
Yes. Getting to 500 from where this team was.
Yeah.
I mean that is, and to do it in a quick span of time also, to turn this thing around and have yourself knocking on the door of 500. Yes. I would, and I think that is a goal that would be nothing should be an energy boost to the guys to say, look at where we started. Look at what the road that everyone thought this is where we're going to go. And you turn around here and a month later, bang, here we are right in the midst of everything, right in the middle of it.
Yeah. I think that.
But and still, look, Fish, look at this. Still without Ty Jerome, without Scottie Pippen Jr., without John Morant really being in the lineup consistently, without Brandon Clark. And so I think it would be an accomplishment for them to get back to 500 here in this month.
Get the Utah Jazz at home, go to the Clippers, and then go to Minnesota. I think that Minnesota game's a big game to kind of see where you are, because you hate to even talk about who you've beaten, because you beat the teams that are in front of you. You beat the teams that are on your schedule. But the Grizzlies' schedule has been relatively, I don't want to use the word easy, but relatively manageable here recently. So I think that Minnesota game's a big game. Let's see where we're at. Let's see what we can do. If you can get these next two games and you go into Minneapolis, let's see who we are.
Heck yeah, you win these two games. I think that puts us at 13-13.
Yeah.
You win these next two games, and so you go in there at 500, and now you start to look at yourself differently. The thing I kept saying about I would tell people about the beating the under 500. We were under 500.
Right.
Like it wasn't as if we were the over 500 team losing to over 500 teams, but just beating the under 500. Yeah, well, we were in the same position as the under 500 teams.
Right.
So they did a great job of finding a rhythm and winning the games that were winnable with the circumstances that the team was playing under. And now, as you feel that confidence and you feel as though you're getting better, and now you get your players back and main guys, now the feeling for them should just be even more confidence that they can keep moving forward. But they have to. Everyone still has to be a part of that. The formula has to still stay the same, because you can play all together. We move the ball, play, everybody get there. You need the last 6 minutes is where you need for John Morant to be John Morant special, a Jaren Jackson Jr. to be Jaren Jackson Jr. special, and for all of the role guys who have continued to be good all season, keep being good and doing all of those small things. But you need for those guys to be difference makers at the end of games.
All right, some other NBA news. Desmond Bane had a monster game against who'd they beat? It was
Miami.
Beat Miami in the cup play. Monster game, 37 points for Des. He was amazing. I liked when he was asked afterwards what's so important about the NBA Cup. He said, well, I lost $35,000. I'm trying to get it back. Now, he lost $35,000 because he's playing dodgeball in the NBA, throwing a ball off of OG Anunoby. What the hell's he doing? It's the second time he did it this year.
And I kept saying that something had to happen within the game that we missed to have that reaction. Because number one, how hard he threw it at him. But I was like, I think you had enough control that you could have just had the possession of the ball.
Right, turned around and dribbled, yeah.
like I don't know if you so I am going to continue to be a believer that we just don't know the inside story as to what else was going on that night that made him think that this is what I got to do for retaliation of something. I don't care. That's what I'm going to believe until Dez tells me something different.
Now, Boogie Cousins, he called out OG Anunoby. He has said that he didn't properly defend himself against Desmond Bane. He said, quote, I'm not saying punch him in the face, but maybe slap the shit out of him.
DeMarcus Cousins still playing. He's still playing in our time of basketball back then,
Yeah.
where maybe you slap him, it's okay. You slap today, that's 5, 6 games, 7 games. That's it. So so OG. Now I will say this: my reaction probably would have been a little bit more demonstrative than what his was. But if in watching OG in all of these years, I haven't seen him do it. I haven't seen him be overly demonstrative about much of anything. So I think that is just that wouldn't be in his nature.
Yeah.
That's out of his character to be overly but for him to even have that reaction was like, oh, okay, that's not just something, that's not a whatever with what just happened. So, but I agree that if you would threw the ball at me that hard, it would have been more than just I would have been more just a little push.
Right.
I feel like I have the right. I should be given the right to defend myself.
LeBron James had his 10-point streak officially ended at 1,297 games, which is a remarkable accomplishment. I mean, to not have a game where you just don't have it.
Just didn't have it.
I mean,
right.
1,297 games where he scored in double figures. Kevin Durant has the longest active streak of double-digit scoring now, and Durant needs to play 82 games for nearly 12 more seasons to match LeBron's record. That's insane.
That speaks to his greatness, but it also speaks to the fact that you were also so great that even on the nights when you were just totally off, nobody ever took you out the game and didn't put them in. Like that never happened.
Yeah.
So on a night where you might only be a 2 for 15, 16, but you still go to the free throw line 10 times. And so you're able to still get to the 12, 13 for that night, whatever it may be. You always had the opportunity to get to those 10 points. And that's what special players, it's how those streaks are able to happen, is because you're going to have the chance, no matter what, to get to that number as long as you're playing in the game.
And it was certainly fitting. I know LeBron haters probably even hate hearing this, but
I know.
But
I know.
it was fitting. LeBron with the ball in his hands in the closing seconds of that game had a shot, could have taken the shot and could have gotten to 10 points. Instead, he throws it to an open man in the corner, knocks down the three. They win the game. And LeBron even afterwards said, you know, hey, we won the game. That's all that I care about. And it was just a fitting end to that amazing streak that he has. Incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I think for him, it's like, all right, if it's going to come to an end in a win.
Yeah.
I don't want it to come to an end and we lose. And so y'all want me to be upset that I didn't take the shot, maybe missed it, and then I didn't. We don't win, and I don't get the streak.
Right.
Or I made the correct play to Rui, who makes corner threes. That's where he likes to shoot it from. Who was butt naked open for us to win the game. I mean, so it just again, that's just who he is.
Yeah.
Like making that play in that moment. I think is as LeBron James as you can get.
LeBron has more finals appearances than games with single-digit points. How about that nugget? That's crazy. And James Harden moved into 10th all-time on the points scored list past Carmelo Anthony. Harden is 10th all-time. He's got 28,000 plus points. LeBron's got 42,000. I mean, so half of what Harden's already done in his career, he would need to do again to even get to LeBron, who's still playing, by the way.
Who people say all he did was just make the right play. Like he just doesn't. But then you look at the amount of points that he has scored.
Crazy.
Like he's like, bro, like y'all, to me, when people start doing the LeBron argument thing, like you're just trying to argue.
Yeah.
Like if you can't sit back and just appreciate and say like, dude was great. Like this is the only thing you can get to is just nitpicking things of, well, why you have to act like that when you're as great as you are, or why does he always have to talk on this, or why does he have to think that he can think all those things because he is.
Yeah, yeah.
In the game of basketball, he is.
Yeah, he is unbelievable. All right, last week we did the Western Conference quarter grades.
Okay.
Today we're going to do the Eastern Conference.
We got this. Let's do the East.
All right. Atlanta Hawks B+. Now I have a problem with the Hawks being a B plus because all we hear about is how they should trade Porzingis or trade Trae Young.
You know what? That is it's the excitement of Jalen Johnson and what Risha has been able to do, and the all of the young assets that they have, and with Trey Young has been out for like Porzingis has been out with some illness thing. I think for he had been out for some time,
No
and they've still
shocker.
been able. Right, exactly. And they've been able to win. So I think that's why they get the B plus because amidst all of that talk of who's gonna get traded, who's not gonna be there, they still win.
Yeah. Boston Celtics a B. I thought that might be a little bit higher considering this could have been a season they could have tanked.
Right. This could be they could have whatever excuse you want to have for why they would just be a nothing team. And that's not the way they go out. They've gone out and played. They compete well and they play to the strengths of their team. If you're not gonna defend the 3 point line, then they'll have a chance to win.
Yeah. Brooklyn Nets a C. I would say that's way too high considering they have 3 wins this season. Considering if you would have told me to list all 30 teams in the NBA today, I probably would have forgotten them.
Jeez, it's that's such a hard thing to say, but so true. I feel bad. Another one of these areas, Washington and the Brooklyn fans. I won't say this entire the New York area because the Knicks do what they do for New York, but boy, I feel bad for those fan bases. Man,
Brutal. Charlotte a D plus. I thought they'd be kind of
Charlotte,
pesky fun this year.
I I I, I almost say the same thing for Charlotte fans. With it as high as we have been on what they are supposed to be, and all of the talent that they have. I think they've had a couple injuries themselves, but yeah, just have not lived up to potential in some time.
No. Chicago Bulls, despite a great start, a C for the Bulls.
Yeah, it was like they couldn't stand prosperity. They got off to a start where nobody knew who they were, and all of a sudden they started to get talked about, and now it's just the old Chicago Bulls again.
Right.
It's back to how in the hell does Billy Donovan just continue to be the head coach of the Chicago Bulls?
And get extensions.
And like how does it happen? And the start of the season was like, oh, this is how, but then it's like, oh no, this is just the same old.
Here we go. Yeah. Cleveland Cavaliers a C minus. Not as good of a start, I guess, as we expect.
Not at all. And I think a lot of their role guys are hurt, but the how deep they can go, I don't think is as deep as it used to be to get away with it. And they got to figure out how as much as people talk about injured players. I mean, Darius Garland's name has to start to be mentioned in the amount of missed games for your star player because he has had injury after injury over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah. Detroit A plus.
They back Detroit basketball. They yelling it all throughout the city.
Mm-hmm. Indiana Pacers a D. Ugh.
I didn't. I would say I don't. I would have expected more, but had no expectation.
Yeah, I think
You know
that's
what I mean?
right.
Like
Yeah.
I didn't expect. I didn't expect. I didn't know what to expect. You lose the two and Turner, and you lose Halliburton for the season. I thought they at least had capable backups in terms of having the little kid off of the bench.
Didn't expect them to play hard.
Yeah, you play hard and then win some games in that way. It just has not.
No.
It's just the pieces are just not coming together well.
Well, Grizzlies got blown out by the Miami Heat. They've been much better than expected. They got an A.
Hey, listen, that Eric Spoelstra and those guys sitting next to him, they've really done a good job of again getting the most out of the players that they have, and also being able to be flexible in how they coach and who they coach, and so it's been successful.
Yeah, the Milwaukee Bucks a C minus. I would say lower than that because they're a mess.
You already know my Milwaukee Bucks
Yeah,
feelings. I
mess.
don't. I haven't shied away from that. I tell you, you just can't do somebody the way they did Adrian. Think that things are just gonna be positive for you.
And they're not.
So,
New York Knicks, a
man,
B, I guess. Yeah, it's about right.
I mean, yeah, I mean, they'll be there in the end. Like
Yeah.
they'll be there.
Orlando, a B, but I would say trending up.
Yeah, because they got off to the slow start.
Yeah.
Like they were one of the teams that everybody was high on, and things didn't click really early. And Dez got off to the really slow start, and he has just been absolutely torching the league here lately. And they're doing it without Bankero.
Yeah.
They've been playing. So I understand why, but definitely going in the right direction.
Philly, a B minus. They've been good with getting virtually nothing from Joel Embiid. And really
Well, I
Paul
mean,
George either. I mean, they're role players now.
Well, they're going in a whole different direction. Like Maxi is their guy.
Yep.
Edgecombe has come in and been a huge revelation for them. And then they have a bunch of other young second, third year guys that are playing really well together. And it's just all right. And B, when you can play, all right, cool. Play a couple minutes. But we not changing for you.
Yeah.
Paul George, you can play, all right, cool. But we're not changing for you.
Yeah. Toronto Raptors an A.
Toronto got those three guys playing good with uh Ingram, RJ Barrett, and Scotty Barnes.
Yeah.
And then then that's another team that have a lot of other good role guys who aren't household names, but they play hard, they play well together. And those three guys play well together. I don't know how many people would have said that those three would have been able to work well together. Not knowing because they're scores with the ball in their hand, but no. So Scotty Barnes he's really good.
Yeah.
Like Scotty Barnes is really, really, really good.
Yeah. And then the Wizards an F. No surprise there. All right. College football note. Notre Dame's left out of the playoff. Oh my gosh, the outrage. Brevin, are you outraged?
No, I'm not outraged because I always had funny feeling like when they did the whole NBC deal thing, it was just like they were putting themselves above. It was just like they were over here, and then they don't join the conference, and I still don't really understand why all of their sports are in a conference, but the football is not. And I don't profess to act like I know there's probably some other bigger reason why, but it just they missed out. I guess it's just guess what. Every year, somebody's ass is going to miss out.
And every year we're going to bitch about them missing out. And every year we're going to say, well, they should have made it in. And so then we need to expand it to teams. 16. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, so this argument will keep. Know what I'm happy. This is what I'm happy to see. I want to see if the two teams with James Madison and
Tulane.
What's the other team? That's Tulane. I want to see what type fight they're able to put up against the Power Four. I guess we're at this point against those schools. Just because at some point in time, I keep always being like, no, everybody can play everybody. At some point in time, you're going to have to be like, you know what? There's just too much of a difference for us to waste spots on putting y'all into these games when you really don't have a chance to win. Because I guess Tulane Ole Miss already beat them earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And beat them pretty badly. And so it's like, well, I don't want to slight those teams because they need, but also I think once we get to this point in the year, you also still like, I want to be excited about seeing really good teams that are good teams play against other good teams that are similar in how they look.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I do have a toast. I want to toast you for sitting outside today on the show.
Yes.
I'm sitting inside. I'm inside and I am comfortable.
You're inside, and I still got cold water in my mug. This isn't even hot. This is nothing even hot.
It's not frozen, is it?
So it's not frozen yet. It's just cold. So that one's good. And no, I'm gonna give a toast. I got a toast to my dad. My dad and his two buddies, Bernie and Walt Fry. I was just down in Orlando with them, and I just want to tell you something, man. Hanging out with old dudes is the funniest and the best thing that you can do in your life. So if you have someone that is an older generation and you can just hang out with them for a couple of days, and just let them be in their world. Don't try, when we're younger, we think we could do it better. We're more fit. It's like, just let them do their thing. You will have an absolute great time. So I'm so
All
to
right.
my dad and his boys for allowing me to hang out with them, play some golf for a couple days.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. All right. That's all I got.
That's it.
That's it. All right. Let's shut her down. That's gonna do it.
Yeah, Kenny, we're gonna shut down from your studio inside where you're nice and warm.
Yeah, shout out to Kenny, who's not on the screen, but he's here. He's here. So shout out to Kenny as well for putting all this together. That's going to do it for us here today on Night Court. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Don't forget you can catch us on Twitter at The Fish Nation and at Brevin Knight 22 and the show at Night Court 22. And you can watch each and every episode on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel or listen wherever you get your podcasts. For BK, I'm Fish. Thanks for joining us. We'll do it again next week here on Night Court.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Night Court podcast. If you enjoyed Rob and Brevin, hit that like button, subscribe to the Bluff City Media YouTube channel, and enjoy the content. We will see you back here next time.